This is just an unprecedented event for scammers, and they are going to take full advantage of this.
As the IRS starts depositing stimulus checks in bank accounts, the BBB is already getting reports of scammers targeting vulnerable victims in Northeast Ohio.
Knowing that people are going to be receiving checks deposited into their accounts is very ripe ground for a scammer to try to reach out to you to claim that there's something you need to do in order to get that check.
One Fox 8 viewer sharing this scam text message she received with a link to confirm her stimulus. Experts say never click such a link, which could expose you to hackers. Don't give out your bank account or social security number. And remember, the IRS will never contact you to verify information or payment details.
The government is not going to reach out to you individually and ask you to do anything to get this money.
The U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Ohio tells me his office is on the lookout for scammers and plans to pursue serious federal charges against them.
There are a variety of different fraud statutes that are in play, a variety of different identity theft, money laundering violations that could be in play, all of which carry the potential for substantial jail time.
U.S. Attorney Justin Herdman says the only people who need to take action to receive a payment are those not on Social Security who didn't file a federal income tax return in the last 2 years. They must proactively provide information through an online portal at irs.gov/coronavirus.
You get a phone call from somebody who's purporting to be from the IRS or the Treasury Department, that's a tip that it's a scam.
Experts reminding you to beware of scammers capitalizing on the coronavirus pandemic. In Cleveland, Matt Wright, Fox 8 News.
More than 200 people who have died within the last 2 years were used to file claims for federal stimulus checks. Most of the stolen identities received funeral services from 2 Kansas City funeral homes. Some claims were filed within a month of their deaths in spring of 2020.
Social Security death database is something that we share across government for reasons just like this.
Tyler Hatcher is special agent in charge of IRS criminal investigations in Kansas City.
The whole scheme of this was about a little over $430,000 of claims, and really, less than 10% went out, which is great.
The indictment claims Warren Watkins, Mauricia Jackson, and Lamar Johnson submitted the claims online from their Kansas City home and created bank accounts and email addresses for the payout. Jackson appeared in court Monday. All 3 defendants have pleaded not guilty. The federal charges carry sentences ranging from 2 to 20 years in prison per count.
And it's our neighbors and it's the businesses that we frequent that have closed their doors through the pandemic. And if there's any way we can help that by, making sure the money goes to who it was intended to go for, and then it's helping businesses, helping individuals, that is something that we aggressively will pursue.
All those data breaches over the past couple of years have put your stimulus check in jeopardy. Experts the I-Team spoke with say scammers are using the information exposed in those breaches to go after the money you're owed. The first wave of stimulus money may be in the mail or your bank account by now, but many are still waiting.
It'll help keep food on the table.
It's that promise of help that Heather Satia and millions of other Americans are banking on. Experts say it's that desperation for financial help that makes them easy targets. Scammers flooding phones and emails with promises about their stimulus checks that are too good to be true.
Click on this link and you will get an extra $1,500 of the stimulus package. Click on this link to update your direct deposit.
They're all cons.
The stimulus scams are so widespread, they're getting the full attention of the U.S. Secret Service.
So far, they estimate about $15 million in fraud, an average of $559 per person.
The most common scams, offers to get your money early or get extra money by filling out a survey, and phone calls that look like they're from your bank, but aren't.
So it could be something like, I'm trying to make sure your stimulus check is deposited. Please give me that one-time passcode I just sent to you.
Even the voices you trust.
Welcome to Chase.
Should now make you think twice. These scams are not random.
They are recording the hold messaging or the hold music that bank or credit union would be playing when their cardholder calls them.
Some scammers are even using information stolen during data breaches to target you.
They've been able to build profiles on each one of us, and if they know a certain group of people are banking with a certain institution and they can correlate phone numbers with them, they'll target those people as a group.
What, if anything, can people do to avoid getting their stimulus money stolen before they can even use it?
You always go to the government source. The irs.gov site has a ton of information on how you can collect your stimulus payment.
That's exactly what Heather did.
I knew right off the bat it didn't sound right. So that's why I contacted the people who did my taxes and went onto the website and checked myself.
Despite the weight of mounting bills, she never lowered her guard.
And I know there are people out there that are in worse situations than me.
The biggest takeaway, if somebody calls or texts you claiming to be from the government or your bank and asks for information, don't hand it over.
Tonight, a crime Ashland City police haven't seen before. A man trying to cash a bogus federal stimulus check. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Haley Wilgus. It's a crime tracker alert. Andy Cordan is bringing you only on News 2.
Tens of millions of Americans have received a federal stimulus check since 2020. So it's no surprise that criminals would try to cash in on this as well. And it appears that's what was going on Tuesday up in Ashland City at a check cashing place. This is the scene outside the Tennessee Quick Cash in Ashland City. It's here that forgery suspect Eddie Odisho decides to run from Ashland City officers. Watch that takedown again as the 34-year-old man is taken into custody.
They handle the situation well and they use as less force as necessary, which is what we're looking for.
According to police, this all begins when the 34-year-old Eddie Odisho tries to cash this $1,400 federal stimulus check that's written in the name of another man. Is this going on, this trying to cash stimulus checks? Have you seen a lot of that?
That's the first one we've seen of that here.
According to the arrest affidavit, the Nashville man first takes his bogus check to Walmart, where he's declined. At the check cashing place, the clerk reportedly runs the Treasury check through a series of safeguards. It shows that the check has already been cashed. Ashland City Police arrive as Odisho is leaving. When cops ask him for ID, he hands them a business card, then takes off, resulting in a chase and a face-down arrest on the hard asphalt.
Well, I mean, you never know what kind of call you're going on. It sounds like a worthless check call at first, but then it turns out to be a felony charge, a couple of felony charges.
Odisho's currently in the Cheatham County Jail. He's charged with felony forgery, criminal simulation, and evading arrest. I asked him for an interview. He declined. Andy Cordan, News 2.
Now, the Treasury checks have built-in security systems that include a seal, microprinting, and a watermark. The suspect's bond totals $7,500.
Millions of Americans have already gotten their stimulus money, and that number is growing every day as the checks get sent out.
Now scammers are trying to take advantage. The Better Business Bureau tells us it's seen reports of stimulus check scams all over the country. News 8's John Dommel spoke with them earlier in the day. And John, have there been any scams like this locally?
Well, guys, we haven't seen any pop up in West Michigan just yet, and there are a number of tactics that we can utilize to keep it like that. For starters, the IRS will never send you unsolicited messages on social media or text you.
If you're not sure when you're going to get your stimulus check, how you're going to get it, how much it might be, that uncertainty, scammers are going to come in and try to take advantage of that.
Nationwide, since the pandemic started, the Federal Trade Commission has seen more than 200,000 fraud complaints, with the majority of them happening around the time of stimulus rollouts.
Offers to click here to get a larger stimulus check. Offers for phone calls saying that there are bonuses available to these stimulus checks if you take certain action.
Another big tell is that the Internal Revenue Service doesn't even call them stimulus checks. It calls them economic impact payments, and the same crowd has a tendency to fall for these tricks.
These scams disproportionately affect people who can least afford them. So the people who need the money the most are the ones who are getting scammed.
It's critical that you work to avoid any stimulus scams, not just for yourself, but for everybody.
If this goes to a scammer, that money is gone. It's taken out of the loop. So not only does it hurt you because you don't have that money available to help you and your family, it hurts the local businesses where you would have spent that money.
And in most cases, you don't even have to do anything to get your money. But if you think you've been scammed, you need to contact the IRS immediately. And we have the tools to do just that over on our website.